do. You understand? So you have to do that. Yvonne says here, one part of the team isn't as transparent. We need to find a place where we can flow together. I feel you. I feel like in our relationship, I'm more transparent than you are. Just publicly and even privately. You get to certain places where you arrive at places where you are able to be more vulnerable and you share with me. I'm not saying you don't share with me. Good Lord, I need to go do something. Yeah. But you have to get to that place and you arrive at those spaces. And I feel like I just kind of flow in and out of that more regularly. And there's no judgment there. Yeah. But we have to understand who we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? What our partners are. So, Yvonne, I'm with you on that we need to find a place where we can flow together. When my husband gets to the place where he's opening up to me, he's talking to me, he's telling me something, texting me, like you did earlier today. Right, then I paused on that. I told him before we got on this live stream, so when we get off the live stream, I want to talk a little bit more about what you texted me earlier today. It was like, but the
text was good enough.
We're going to do that.
I leave it at the text.
He's like, I just want to leave it at that. But I'm like, no, I'll tell you about that, right? So it's really.
What she said is that, go ahead and get your glass of wine because we're going to talk.
Yeah, I said we're going to talk. So I said, get your glass of wine. You need to loosen up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I said, oh boy.
Because we're going to talk because you sent me some feelings and I want to talk about that. So being able to listen and empathize is important, and I have to pay attention to when my husband is ripe for it. You understand?
So you can pounce.
So I can take advantage of that, and that's a part of my responsibility, and I have no problem with that. I love what Aisha is lifting up here. Aisha says, create a soft, harmonious environment of vulnerability. Learn that vulnerability is really being courageous and respect that. Yes, Aisha, everyone isn't great at communication, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Aisha, you on point. It's a communication thing. So I'm able to see when my husband is sharing with me and he's coming from a place of courage. And I'm not going to, because your partner will put something out there and they'll do something and then they'll minimize it. You ever seen that? Or they'll share something or they say something or they do something. You're like, wow, or like, okay, or what was that about? And then they kind of like, man, go ahead. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, what you talking about, right? But it's your job to understand and see and discern that they gave you something and you need to follow through with that because they put it out there and they may not be in a place where they can say, yeah, this is deep for me or this was a big deal. And so you pick up on that, right? Because they've passed you the ball. Now, what you going to do with it?
And that's the truth. I can actually vouch and say, with 100% certainty, even in this most recent situation, that what my wife is saying is accurate. Because truth be told, and ladies, I want you to pay attention to this. So I sent my wife a text expressing some emotions, just about some feelings and just feeling kind of glum, just blue, just feelings of overwhelm and stress. And so I sent her this text and based off of the hustle and bustle of the day, we get caught up in other things. And I was wondering, as the day went on, even though I didn't express it to her, because that would be another level and layer of vulnerability, if she would revisit it. And she did. She did right before this live stream. And so I wanted her to, but I didn't want to say that I wanted her to. I wanted her to, but I also didn't want to, show that I needed her to. And even in me saying that, like, that's that mushy and I don't feel like doing all of that. And so, I appreciate you, just revisiting it and wanting to have the conversation, even though I don't want to have the conversation. I still appreciate you.
I know you do.
And we're gonna have a conversation.
I know.
So ladies, this right here is a piece where I want you to pay attention to, because if your guy gives you something, if there's some resistance there, more than likely he wants you to pursue him, and so do that. So it's a good thing. It really is.
Woo, y'all, Lord have mercy. Y'all like, oh.
Yeah, Joshua, the good thing is that she cares. It's absolutely
I do care. And I'm just, I know that, it's a little easier for me to express myself because I'm a pretty verbose or, person. And I know that it's, a challenge sometimes for my husband. And so when he does that, I take it with the utmost, um, it's sacred to me. And I recognize that you are taking a risk and you're sharing with me. And I appreciate that. And I love you for that. And I know it's not easy. And I just, and I think I'm overwhelmed with emotion. First of all, as every minute goes by, I'm getting more and more congested. Good Lord. but but I really I do not take it lightly. And when we were earlier in our relationship, I don't think I caught those moments where you might have been vulnerable and you might have been looking for something from me and you might have been paying attention to how I responded to things. But as time has gone on, I have paid attention and I have done my work, my personal work, because guess what? You can't see anything that is beyond what you have experienced. So if you have not, what I mean by that, if you have not experienced a certain level of vulnerability, then you will not see it in somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to peep that. If you have not experienced a certain level of connection, you will not see it in someone else. Someone is attempting to give it to you. Your partner is attempting to share it with you. They're wanting to connect with you in a certain way, and you don't even receive it in the way that it's coming to you because you ain't even gone there with yourself. So I know that earlier on in our relationship, I was going over my head. I just mad or whatever, and so I don't take it for granted now. And I want you all to make sure that you don't take it for granted when your partner is vulnerable. And you may not find yourself, it may not look like this, but you need to figure out what it looks like for you and your relationship. And in terms of where you are on your trajectory, and you need to honor it, and you need to make sure that you make space for it. So we've given you
so number 10, y'all.
Number 10, last one. It's 10:46, y'all.
We spoke about this last week, I believe.
You did? What is this one?
Last week.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, last week when we were doing a live stream with Happy Couples Company. Marcel Pickens, he's I saw him hop on a live stream. I'm not sure if he's still on here. But they got a great company, Happy Couples Company. They send out Happy Couples boxes. They sent us one with some nice little trinkets inside of it.
Check them out on Facebook. Happy Couples Company.
Happy Couples Company. And so last week we spoke about making sure that you agree upon the important issues. This is number 10, y'all. Successful couples, they agree upon the important issues from the get-go. And they move as a team towards common goals. You're moving as a team towards common goals. And so again, it's important when it comes to your relationship. We all like to do vision boards. Vision boards for 2019, vision boards for how you want your relationship to be, how you want your job, your work life to be, how you want your business to be, how you want your children, your family to look. We all do vision boards. But when it comes to creating common goals is one thing, but it's also important to take inventory of what you've accomplished in the year prior. It's important for you to establish and, again, take inventory of the fact that you've gone through some things. You've accomplished something. You've had some W's. You've had some wins. And so if you take inventory of the things that you've done, whether you put them on a poster board, whether you write them in a journal, whether you create, sticky notes just to say that I did this. I had some wins in 2018 that I'm proud of. I'm sure my wife, you had some wins that you're proud of as well. And so again, it's important that in order to move forward and to create common goals, you want to take inventory of what you've done. And then you can enter into the space of creating common goals from a place of empowerment. Because again, if you've been able to do something in the past, you can do something bigger and better in the future. And so you want to make sure you're agreeing on important issues as you move forward in 2019. It's not to say you might not bump heads, but what it is to say is that you keep on pressing forward, pushing through, that you can arrive in a space where there's some agreement in terms of how you're going to approach and deal with certain situations, whether it be financial, whether it be sexual, whether it be emotional, whether it be parental. But you want to have some common goals that you agree upon and move forward through those things collectively.
Yes, yes, yes. So, guys, here we are at the end of our live stream, and I want to know, where you landed. Did you grade yourself? Was y'all just playing around? That's what I want to know. I want to review very quickly where you found yourself. We talked about, are you doing the 10 things, the 10, what? Are you doing the 10 things that the most successful couples do? So number one, speaking up about, and this may not be the order that we went in, but speaking up about problems before it's, which means that you have shared responsibilities, that you're open to being accountable and apologizing and, encouraging individuality. We also talked about sharing belief in the big purpose. We talked about listening and empathizing. We talked about expressing your appreciation and agreeing upon important issues from the get-go and committing to one another all. My goodness. We talked about making sure you work in a place so that you have a certain mindset where your place of work understands that family comes first, and that, of course, you always have a sense of humor. Okay, so I see you all coming in. Nikki out of 10, and Stephanie says 8 out of 10. Y'all are doing it out the wazoo right here. Nikki also, well, 6. Nikki, you said 6 or 7. I got 7. And so I want you all to really grade yourselves tonight. Stephanie said 8. All right. And go ahead with your bad self. Carmen said I got 9 out of 10. That's what's up. I would definitely say, I'm reviewing because I really wasn't doing it as we were going. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Whew. 9, 8. I said we get 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I said 9 too.
What's the one that you said we need to work on?
The one that I said that we need to work on is
Yeah, remember? I'm gonna tell you the one I know.
Which one did you say?
No, you say it first. You ain't say?
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Okay, well, let me tell you. I gotta go back. Y'all probably looking at us like, what in the hell are they doing? Okay, so the one that I would say that we need to work on.
Was agreeing upon the important issues from the get-go.
That's it. That's mine.
Oh, really?
Dang. Yes. Agreeing on the important issues from the get-go. I think that's something that we need to, we sometimes kind of come off kilter, and we're like looking at two different things. Like, what you looking at? You like what you're looking at. So that's something that we can use some additional focus on. Guys, we hope that tonight has been helpful to you. We know that making sure that you take the time to focus on your relationship and all the things that come with a good, healthy relationship will benefit you when you are consistent. Not just consistent, but persistent. We really appreciate you tuning in. We hope that you're still in this late hour, as it is 8 minutes to 11 out this joint. Don't y'all gotta go to work? That you would share the video, that you would click like, that you would give us some hearts, that you would drop a comment, and that when you lay your head down tonight, that you say, I give thanks that I was able to get something from this, and that I'm the kind of person that is focused on growing and going to the next level. We'll see y'all next week, y'all. As always, stop playing.
And start pushing.
And start pushing. Bye.
All right, y'all. Peace.